The Pulse, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Andrew, why don't you introduce everybody before I get going here?
All right, well, over here on the keys, as I said, is Steve Barnwell.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah, give it up.
Over there on bass guitar is my good friend Matty Lobach. And back here on the drums is Andrew Horvath.
Andrew.
And my name is Andrew McLean.
Thank you, The Pulse. All right, how's everybody doing? It's good to see everyone. I'm so glad you're here. It is great to be starting off this school year. I'm telling you, it's a very quiet and lonely town when you're not around. We've had some gorgeous weather for move-in. Your folks, I'm sure, are pleased. They didn't have to worry about replacing anything due to rain and everything. In fact, it's gotten kind of hot. Last week, it was so hot. You guys are quicker than last year. So hot that Coach Paterno had to roll his pants legs up above his knees. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to be here all night, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get with the program. All right. Well, I welcome especially our first-year students. How many first-year students have we got? There we go. It's a good number of folks. You know, you guys, most of you were born in 1990. Yeah. I was trying to wrap up college about that time. It's been a different world. Beloit College always comes out with a list that tells us how the world has changed and what you guys did and didn't know growing up. You never knew a Soviet Union or a city named Leningrad. It was always St. Petersburg for you guys. And you always measured, your parents anyway, always measured 98.6 in your ear. I grew up, on the other hand, with rectal thermometers. And they are exactly what you think they are. And it was always very important. It was always very important not to confuse your oral and your rectal thermometer. That's all I'm saying. It's true. I'm just saying. You make the mistake once, never again in your life. Well, you guys are moving in. You're first-year students. You're getting to know your roommates. Some of you probably even got to know them over Facebook already. Those first-year freshman roommates, they're relationships that you're making that you might well have for life in a very good and positive way. Last summer, I was in my baby brother-in-law's wedding. He was 14 years old when I met him and married his sister, who is here somewhere in the audience, celebrating 15 years this year. Yes, thank you. But his wife, the maid of honor in the wedding, was his wife's freshman roommate. 8 years after they were freshmen, still friends together. She was in her wedding. They were in each other's weddings. They're great relationships that you're building and developing here. I can't always say that they're going to be such strong relationships. I mean, my freshman roommate, he's a good guy, but you know how they say secondhand smoke kills or gets you high. So I chose to move out, and I haven't seen him since I buried him in a ditch. Which is not true. I put him in a lake, but that's that's true. Well, some of you know a little bit about me, just to fill you all in. Most recently, my wife and our kids and I, we moved up from New Orleans just 2 years ago. We spent nearly a decade there, but originally from Maryland. We got a few Marylanders here. Love being back close to family. Absolutely love it up here. One of the things I love is that we're an ag school. Amongst all the other things, like folks who teach you ancient Hebrew and Jewish literature, we've got ag sciences and engineering, but when I was a kid, I was in 4-H. Any 4-H'ers? Yeah. Well, I was a poultry judger in 4-H. Last year, believe it or not, we had one poultry judger in the audience. I was actually state champion poultry judger. You're judging chickens to see how well they're laying eggs, and it involves feeling their heinies. But I was state champion, so I went to the National 4-H Poultry Judging Championships. They have this. They really do. And it turns out that the guy who's in charge of poultry here is in charge of the National 4-H Poultry Judging Competition and invited me to speak this year at the National 4-H Poultry Judging Competition. And I told him I only came in 14th at the Nationals. And he said, deadpan, he said, that's okay, because what we're trying to teach these kids is that even if they don't succeed at poultry judging, they can still succeed later in life. So I took that as a positive thing. So when I was growing up, the other thing that I did besides poultry judging, you can only spend so much of your day thinking about chickens and eggs. I was a swimmer. In fact, Mr. Michael Phelps, you've heard about him lately? Yeah, absolutely. Michael and I have a lot of things in common, both from Maryland. He is 6'4", I'm 6'3". He has a 6'7" wingspan, as do I. 6'7" wingspan. But I was actually a pretty good swimmer. I even had scholarship offers and things like that. But Michael Phelps is just something completely different. And they talked about how his physique prepares him, and he's just built. He's Aquaman, for crying out loud. He's got like hyperextending knees and everything. Satan has promised not to take his soul until after the Olympic Games are over. He's got all sorts of advantages. They commented that he eats 12,000 calories worth of food a day. Something that'll be very difficult to do at Simmons. But but it's good food, ladies and gentlemen. It's good food. But 12,000 calories a day, which made me realize that we don't have an obesity problem in the United States. We have a swimming problem. And to emphasize to you guys the importance of not cheating, of always citing your sources correctly, that last joke came from NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me from last weekend. And what is this, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much. It's a footnote. Excuse me on the microphone there. There you go. There's a footnote for you. Oh, that's a nasty paper cut. Nasty paper cut. I think I'm killing our microphone. This summer, unfortunately, we had some tragedy. Bernie Mac passed away, last week and weekend before last, and we lost the great George Carlin. George Carlin, I didn't realize at the time, was teaching me an awful lot in junior high school, mostly because my friend John Phoebus, that seems to be all he would ever do, is tell these jokes and stick his knuckle up his nose and things like that. But you guys are a little young, but I'm sure you know Carlin and the fact that he taught us the 7 words you're not allowed to say on TV. Those 7 words are, by the way, and. So you can't say those on TV, or in the State Theater, or as a faculty member. Your folks are already home for some of you, on the way home for the rest of you, and if your parents are like mine, you may not have been the easiest of partings. My mom, I always knew how close I was getting to campus because my mom would fight with me more and more the closer we got. By the time we got there, she'd just open up the door and kick me out and keep driving. You know, it wasn't quite that bad, but I want you to know it's as tough for them as it is for you, because I know there are a lot of tears shed in this room in the last couple of days, and there will be, and that's okay. That's all right. I want you to be nice to your folks. It is hard for them. Keep in touch with them. Call them. Ask for money. That's what we do. Instant messaging is now gone by the wayside, I guess, although some folks, parents, have IM'd me. And I do want to tell you a story, sort of a cautionary tale in instant messaging, which is to say last year, just a couple weeks before we did our orientation, I got an instant message from someone whose username was sexual innuendo. This person said, "Hey, Chris Brady, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing real well. Who are you?" "Oh, you know me," they wrote back. I said, "I don't think so." They said, "Oh, come on. Chris Brady is the sexiest man alive." I said, "I don't think my wife has username sexual innuendo. So who are you?" This person responded, "Aren't you Chris Brady who goes to such and such college?" And I said, "No, I'm Chris Brady, Dean of the Schreyer Honors College at Penn State." To which that person replied, "That's my first choice next year." So if you're in the room, I compliment you and I'm thrilled that you're with us now. But I do want to warn you, you got to think about what you put out there on the internet. Facebook is a great place. I've got a Facebook account. Think about what you put up, because I know what many of you did this past summer. I know about that tattoo. I even know where it's located. And I don't think your folks do. But we're glad you're here. We're thrilled. It's a great place to be. Honors education is all about taking advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you. We want to be here for you, myself and all of the staff in the Schreyer Honors College. And really, what we're basically saying to you guys is, we want you to talk nerdy to me.